Okay, some of you guys have seen my wave clock video, which was made with an ESP32 and this board you see back there. Now, it's hard to get a good picture of it with the camera. The light's on, it looks too pale. Light's off, it's too bright. I don't know. Anyway, it's a pretty good board. And it's actually pretty inexpensive to make. It's made out of Neopixels, or the WS2812B, okay? So these things come in a strip like that. Okay, let me see if I can get this to focus on here. There we go. Okay, so these come in a strip, and you'll notice that you have a 5 volts, you got a ground right there, and the middle one is a signal that you send that comes out from the chip. And then each of these has a red, a green, and a blue in it. And it uses pulse width modulation to vary how much red, green, and blue you get to make the color you want. Most of that stuff's handled by chips, so you don't need a lot of fancy program to do all that. That's all usually done for you. If you're using a ESP32 like I do, then usually the operating system that you're using, like MicroPython or WhiteCat or Lua, they'll handle that for you. So you get these things in a strip like that, and basically this one reads the signal. It does what it's supposed to do, then it goes to the next one. It sends the rest of the signals to the next one, and it uses part of it, and then it goes to the next one, goes to the next one. So you make these things run as a strip, okay? They're running down this thing as a strip. Well, that's all well and good if you want to make long, skinny strips of things, but when you want to do something like the clock there, then you got to change things up a bit. Let me focus on that clock. There you go. You got to change things up a bit. So let me show you what's going on here. So basically what I did is I took a strip and I put it into a serpentine pattern, and that's what this red light's following. It's following the pattern of the trips or of the strip. So it starts down here in this corner, it runs down, turns the corner. So I just cut it in separate strips. You can cut these things. See that cut line, the white line? You can cut these things wherever you want, and then just solder on connectors, or just put butt two together and solder them right together. And a lot of it comes with this sticky tape on the back. So that's what I did on there, is I just cut it, sticky taped it on there, and I put it in this serpentine pattern. I did run power strips up here. We'll take this apart in just a minute. Ran power strips up here. And then I just wrote software that would convert it to where I can do it XY. Okay, so if we do this, then watch this. So we'll just make, here's a Y-axis, and here's an X-axis. Okay, so then I can just plot things and, do my XY. And I can make, the letters, the numbers, draw the waves, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, I got some information about this on my website. You can get up there and look and see what I've been doing with this. You can get whatever software that I've been using. I stick it up there. So if you're using MicroPython, working in Python, then you can use that stuff. Okay. All right, so what I want to do now is tear this thing down and get into the hardware and show you exactly what I have going on. All right, so the heart of this thing, of course, is an ESP32, which is on the back side here. Okay, so there's the, let's see if it'll, hopefully the camera will focus in on that. There's the ESP32. Here's a USB connector coming in. Now, once this thing is programmed up and running, it connects to the Wi-Fi by itself, right? So it doesn't need this, except this is your power connector. So got that. And then here is the signal that goes out to the board. Here's your positive and negative. They go through to the board over there. All right, now let's turn this thing over, and I'm gonna set it down, and we'll dig through this thing and take it apart, dig through it, and I'll show you exactly how I've been put this thing together. Okay, let me take this thing apart. Now, one thing I found is that the lights, when you're looking straight at the lights, especially with that clock that I had, it's just too hard to look at them, especially if it's dark. So what I've done is made this diffuser. So it's adjustable, so I can hold it way out here, or you can push it way down close, you know, whatever you like. I've experimented with several things, but this is just a piece of wood, and then what I did was take some tissue paper and I glued it on there. You don't have to glue it really tight. I just glued the tissue paper on there. I think this is actually 2 layers of tissue paper. I glued it on there, and then I just, once the glue was dry, I took a spray bottle and I just lightly sprayed it with water. Did it on both sides, and when I did it, it crinkled up. It looked horrible. So you'd think, oh, I really screwed this thing up. But then as soon as it dried, you get this very tight, flat thing. So I've done it with this. I did it with printer paper, different types of paper. But that just gives you, you know, it's kind of hard to look at those lights. When you put this on there, it looks a little better. To me, it does. Okay. So that looks cool, doesn't it? All right, let me take the camera. Well, basically, here's our negative wire. Here's a positive. Here's a negative. Here's a positive. And then I've got buses running up here. And the reason I did that is the signal actually runs back and forth, but the buses I'm just jumping over. See, I've got the tape in there as insulators. So the buses just jump over everything, so you have a short connection, because this thing can draw a lot of power. Each one of these can draw 60 milliamps. So you multiply 60 times 300, all of a sudden you got a lot of amperage. The most I could pull out of this thing, I think I pulled almost 8 amps. If I turned everything on to full brightness, white color, which uses all 3 colors, I pulled 8 amps out of this. Okay, so you gotta be careful. This is actually being powered off of the USB 3. USB 3 will handle, my computer over there, it's actually running off my laptop right here. USB 3 can handle 900 milliamps, almost an amp. So if you don't use full brightness and you don't light them all at the same time, mainly don't use full brightness, then you can power this thing with a USB port, which is what I normally do. Okay, it's normally drawing, you know, about 300 milliamps or something like that. Okay, so this is just basically it. Now let me take the camera out and do some close-ups. It looks really cool though, doesn't it? All right, I'm just doing this shot because it's really awesome. It looks neat to me. Yeah, it looks real neat. In fact, I might just use this as the thumbnail. All right, here's the deal. Pardon my soldering. Okay, that is the signal wire. So it comes up and it goes to the middle, which is your signal. And if you'll notice, the middle always has that little arrow, because that's the direction that the signal has to go. Your negative and your positive, they're just going over to the positive side of each one of these. See, it alternates though, because the strip's turned around. See, the arrow's pointed the other way. So it goes to there, then to there, then it jumps all the way over to there. Same thing with the negative. It's just going to alternate depending on which way the strip is. All right, so I just got a heavy wire, short connections to handle the amperage. And then here is the signal coming in. It's running down there. If we go all the way down to that end. I'm holding this camera. You can see comes out here, goes over to the center there, heading back down that way. Same thing, comes back up here, goes over there. So we're just serpentining up and back. Okay. Just back and forth, same way that's traveling. And then all we have to do is write a little bit of software so that if we say, you know, 1, well, this would be 1, 1. I've got it set where this is 1, not 0. So this is 2, 2. Then I need to go to strip 2. I know how long the strip is. I go to strip 2 and then over to position 2. Or if I go to, because each one of these strips is 27 long, I know that's in the software you can put in that. That's free software off my site if you want to use the Python software. Okay, but this is how I'm doing all the writing and stuff that you see on this thing, is I just set this up as a matrix. Now you can buy matrices already made, but you can order these, you know, all these things are like 15 bucks. And then you build this big matrix. And in fact, the next one I do, I'm going to buy these that have a 10 centimeter spacing. I'm going to do about a 6-foot one as a big clock for a friend of mine. Okay, so that's basically it. Let's get one more cool shot before we go. Oh yeah, that's a cool shot.